One of the things that I think is important around identifying and working with adolescent fathers and child welfare is first of all, you've got to identify how many there are, where they are, what setting they're in. I think there needs to be some focus with child welfare administrators and workers to first identify that this population is invisible, acknowledge that it's an invisible population, and that they have identifying and providing them with some service has long-term consequence for their offspring. So once those young men are identified and taught to be fathers, I think there's a very important need to focus on their education so that they have a greater opportunity to provide long-term for their children.
I would add to that the whole idea of providing the connection between the young fathers and their children, kind of thinking about developmentally where the young fathers are and in their own development, and kind of factoring that issue into any interventions that's developed to help support them. And so kind of increasing their emotional bond to their child, but also kind of thinking about how do you have them think about co-parenting with the mom that's attached to that child, and how do you consider those things coming together, either good or bad or indifferent, but give them the kids skills to cope and deal with those issues. So identification and then kind of thinking about intervention.
The co-parenting piece, I think, is crucial, and it's a paradigm shift in child welfare to get workers and administrators to think about the relationship between these two adolescents who have created a life. And so part of that is going to be attitudinal shift among staff, but then creating opportunities for those two young people to figure out together, inside of a relationship or outside of a relationship, how to be co-parents. And then, of course, Dr. Gordan and I have talked about this along with some other colleagues. There's the whole permanency connection with the young father, because to the extent that he's invisible, his family tree is unavailable to the offspring, and so from that perspective, it really is an important permanency initiative as well.
I think what that highlights is the whole idea that for teen parents in general, and for adolescent parents in the child protection system, the whole idea of kind of extended family networks become that much more important and more pronounced, and the implications of them on the child, on the young person being able to parent, I think intensifies. So kind of thinking about how all those things come together would definitely be key. Additionally, what it also highlights for me is the whole idea of supports. Where are the supports that can be offered to these young people, and what are the structures that are in place structurally, either within the child protection system or any other place, that either kind of prohibits or kind of puts up barriers that are necessary to help this young person do what they need to do in regards to their child. So kind of thinking about that in a real way, I think becomes important.
And of course, this intervention, if done correctly, our hope, our hypothesis is that it breaks the cycle for that next generation of children. If we're working with a teen mother, teaching her to be a good mom, ensuring that she graduates from high school, move her in the direction of post-secondary educational opportunities, job acquisition, and so on. At the same time, identifying those young men, teaching them to be fathers, moving them along an educational trajectory toward employment, allows both then to care for their child emotionally, psychologically, as well as financially, thereby hopefully breaking the cycle of coming back into the child welfare system the next generation out. So those, that's really one of the guiding principles I think that we hold on to in doing this work.